All right, so we're on our first subtopic, and as you can see, going to talk about first about evolution of safety practices in industrial and digital platforms. Okay, so titingnan natin kung paano ba sila noon, um, ano ba yung mga early na perspectives sa regarding safety measures, different or sa pag-practice ng mga safety measures. Um, and paano siya umabot sa ganitong meron tayo ngayon. Okay? So and anong next? Anong after this na actually ginagawa na or sinisimulan ng gawin ng ibang countries? Okay? So evolution of safety practices in industrial and digital platforms. Um, First, uh, before we talk about that evolution, define muna natin si safety. Right? So safety, based sa definition ng favorite kong website for definitions, we Britannica.com. Um, Safety daw can refer to activities that seek either to minimize pa-content or better to eliminate totally na wala na ang hazardous conditions daw. So meaning any condition na may kasamang hazard. Okay? So anong klaseng condition and anong klaseng hazard? Those that can cause bodily injury or pwedeng ikapahamak ng katawan natin. Okay? So whether ano man yan, paa or as small as your fingernail, di ba? So um, kailangan natin ng safety, di ba? And another way we look at safety is this one, condition of being protected from. So naka-underline po 'yun, meaning ang anything that can cause harm sa iyo. So dapat ma-protect ka from that, 'di ba? Either ma-distance ka or ma-isolate ka or ano pa, whatever na hindi siya magka-contact sa hindi siya makalapit sa or better yet, ikaw hindi ka makalapit sa hazardous condition na 'yan or hindi umabot sa yung hazardous condition na 'yan. So much better. So mas safe ka pag ganun. Or also condition of unlikely to cause danger, risk or injury. So the word risk explain natin in a while. So meaning unlikely, mas safe ka, mas unlikely na magka bodily injury or any harm na magawa sa iyo, di ba? So how do we lessen the chances na mapahamak ka from such hazardous condition? Okay, so depende sa safety na provide mo or na sinecure mo. Right? So, na-mention yung word na risk, na-mention din natin yung word na hazard and how they, now tingnan natin how both of them relate to the concept of safety. Okay? So, as you can see, we have the terms hazard and risk. And as you can see, bakit naging hazard si water? Pwede pa si gasoline and si driving, di ba? Um, Unahin natin sige, from the top, water. So, we all know that we need water and many jobs involve the use of water. But there are some jobs that have to be done within the presence of a swimming pool or any similar na body of water wherein someone can drown. Okay? For example, mga nagsiserve, mga waiter sa beach resorts, 'di ba? So, or sa mga pool. Um, if they don't know how to swim, the condition or the workplace is very hazardous to them. Always may hazardous condition na nakaabang sa kanila. How much more kung tumalon ka sa swimming pool na hindi mo alam kung paano lumangoy. For example, may nahulog na item doon, kailangan mo yun, tumalon ka doon kahit hindi ka marunong lumangoy. So, mas tumaas yung risk mo ngayon na mapahamak. Okay? So, for example, malayo ka sa pool, medyo okay. Lumapit ka sa pool, medyo at risk ka na. Tumalon ka pa sa pool, especially hindi ka marunong lumangoy, very risky na yun, di ba? More likely, ikakapahamak mo na yun. Another way, tingnan natin to, gasoline. So, as we all know, gasoline is very dangerous because may kasama talagang risk na pag nasindihan siya, pwede siyang mag-cause ng fire or explosion that can lead to some injuries or even death. So, kung pwede na natin palitan si gasoline, di ba? Better wag na tayong gumamit ng gasoline, much better. Or kung pwedeng gumamit tayo ng less hazardous na equivalent ng gasoline, like, meron bang ganun? For example, for fuel, di ba? Ngayon, meron ng electronic. So, pwede ka ng mag-e-car or e-bike. Things like that. But there are some workplaces na involved talaga si gasoline. So, there's no other choice but to make sure na walang match na makakapag-light sa gasoline. Something like that. So one of the ways na malesa natin yung risk is at all cost ilayo or iwasang may malalight na match. Ayan. Okay. Now another thing si driving naman. So driving is something 'di ba? Very important. So if you want to go from one place to another, may involve the driving, whether ikaw yung nagda-drive or someone else. So, um, of course, hazard because anything can happen during the travel, 'di ba? Um, Risky naman talaga mag-travel especially kung reckless. Yung driver mo mismo yung reckless or may nakasabay ka sa kalsada na some other driver na reckless, kamote. Di ba? So, either nagte-text siya, nagbabrowse, or nagbabrowse ng social media, or nag-YouTube, or nag-games, di ba? So, mas tumaas yung risk lalo. So, hopefully, hindi tayo maka-encounter ng ganong driver, and hopefully, hindi tayo ganon. Hindi tayo isa sa mga ganon. But, of course, those things happen, and the more we are exposed to that kind of driver, the more at risk tayo. Di ba? What more kung ikaw mismo yung driver na yan? Anyway, I hope na gets ninyo yung context, yung essence ng word na safety and how these words, hazards and risk, relate to it. Okay? So, now titingnan natin sa technology naman na aspect because as what I've said earlier, mas focus tayo sa technology or kung paano related sa safety sa technology. Okay, so balikan natin yung pinakaunang industrial era. Um, so we have the Industry 1.0, the first industrial revolution, wherein we can summarize that as the mechanization. So during this time, I believe this happened during 16th and 17th century. So medyo nakalimutan ko yung mga dates. Right? But somewhat like during the Wild Wild West era. Ayan, mga cowboy. Um, So, during this time, or unang ginamit yung mga steam-powered machines. And dahil dun, nauso yung mga factories. So, however, um, medyo inosente pa yung mga tao. Hindi pa sila aware sa different risks that come with those machines. And those machines, early machines, medyo um, nakafocus kung paano sila magiging productive, magiging madaming magagawa, 'di ba? So, kesa sa safety. So, in other words, in short, delikado gamitin yung mga machines na 'yon. Pwede kang magputulan ng kamay, pwede kang malaglagan, pwede kang what else, matusok or masabugan. So, ang daming hazards na involved sa mga machines na yun because very raw pang technologies. Very ano pa, very Jurassic, kumbaga. That's why during that time, no formal safety measures pa yung nasa standard or na standardized. Medyo ano pa lang, pinag-iisipan pa lang ng mga tao. And that's why there's a high risk of injury during that time. And kasi hazards in-ignore unless punished. Kumbaga sa sa model stage or safety culture maturity model stage ni Hudson, during this time, pathological yung safety culture. Um, or in other words, somewhat people are thinking like, who cares? Who cares about safety as long as we're not caught? Diba? As long as gumagana siya, as long as nagagawa natin yung work, who cares? Wala namang nanguhuli. Familiar, no? I believe medyo some people are still in this era until now. So as long as walang sumisita, walang nanghuhuli, as long as hindi nahuhuli, gawin natin kung anong gusto natin. Do it your way. So anong safety? Mga ganun. Okay? But there came the second industrial revolution around 17th and 18th century and up to 19th. We have the mass production. So combination ng electricity and assembly lines. And especially with the development of oil-based machines. So during this time na also ang electrification, meaning dekuryente na. Nag-umpisa ng maging dekuryente yung mga gamit. Nagkaroon na ng mga electrical appliances eventually. And in terms of factories, nagkaroon na ng assembly lines. Or in short, mas naging mabilis yung production during this time. Hindi na super Jurassic. So, slightly Jurassic na lang. Okay? At this point also, labor reforms begin. Yung mga tao medyo na-realize na dapat inaalagaan yung kanilang safety or dapat kino-consider sa isang workplace. Diba? Hindi sila dapat pinapabayaan. Okay? So, during this time, safety improvements only after incidents, especially nung bago pa lang yung electricity, na na-discover ng mga tao na, ay, ganyan pala pag na kuryente ka, masusunog ka, mamamatay ka, masakit. Diba? So, nung, kumbaga to see is to believe. Kung hindi pa na-experience, okay, anong safety? Pag na-experience na or na-witness mo na ay ganun pala yung pwede mangyari. So, may mga improvements na ginagawa. And sad to say, some companies, especially sa one of my previous jobs, medyo nasa ganitong stage pa din yung kanilang thinking or yung kanilang safety culture. Okay? So, as long as walang namatay, walang na-discuss siya, hindi tayo magpo-provide ng safety measures. Parang ganun. But a good thing during this era, na-introduce na yung, at least may basic rules na. Especially then may nabuong bagong type of hazard. We have the electrical hazard. So, nagkaroon na ng basic rules and eventually PPE. As simple as gloves, di ba, sa electrical. And kung i-compare na natin sa Hudson model stage, this safety culture can be described as reactive. Okay, we take safety seriously after something goes wrong. Okay, so at least naging serious na. Kaso, to see is to believe pa na thinking. Okay, so umaga late na, sumabog na, tsaka tayo, ay, paano natin maiwasan kung paano yung pagsabog na yan? Okay, until now, Philippines very into this culture pa din, so to say. Eventually, we came to the third industrial revolution. Philippines majority for me, I can say the Philippines is mostly on this at this stage pa lang or no sa late part ng stage na to. because although Industry 4.0 is common already in many advanced countries, first world countries, in third world countries like Philippines, medyo nasa paalis pa lang tayo. Okay, nasa automation era pa din tayo, or Industry 3.0. Um, this is described as the electronics, especially control systems and computers that enhance industrial efficiency. So as we all know, nung naging computerized na yung mga bagay-bagay, and nagkaroon na tayo ng mga automatic na devices, mas madami tayong nagawa. Until now, mas madami tayong kumbaga from the 1900s up to now, and super daming na bagong technologies. Super daming naging innovation, um, very fast. Very fast yung pag-change ng technologies and ng mga iba't ibang practices na din. Okay? So in terms of safety, na introduced na COHS, or what we call as the Occupational Health and Safety Management Systems. So at the same time, nagkaroon na ng systematic na inspections and compliance checklists. So I can say the Philippines is still struggling into this. Although DOLE have already kumbaga may mandate na. However, they have started enforcing this sa different workplaces. So kumbaga natutupad din natin yung part na to. Madami na talagang pasaway, especially yung mga um, yung mga kayang lumusot kay Dole. Uh, I guess you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so sa Hudson model stage naman, we can describe these safety practices as calculative. Okay, we have systems in place to manage all hazards. At least ready na tayo. We have na-anticipate na natin ano yung mga possible na accidents, ano yung mga possible things na mag-cause ng harm sa atin, or ano yung mga unsafe na working conditions. Kumbaga, aware na tayo. And we can make calculations na, especially with the help of computers and our automation systems. Okay? But as we all know, hindi pa tayo masyadong nakagraduate dito, but sabi ko nga, many first world countries, mga mas advanced na countries, nasa Industry 4.0 na. And tayo medyo nag-range pa yung mga companies natin, yung mga organizations natin from the late part of Industry 3.0 and the early part of Industry 4.0. Last year kasi meron pang 5. So, dito na po si smart systems, yung different technologies that we hear nowadays, like IoT, Internet of Things, AI, and digital platforms that help connect different types of systems and enable real-time data. So physical data to digital data and digital data to physical data, nagagawa na po natin in real time sa ngayon with the help of smart systems. Okay? So from real world to the digital world and vice versa. So yun yung naisip ko na short way to describe smart systems. Okay? So in terms of safety practices, sabi ko nga yung mga countries na nagpa-practice na nito or naka-adapt na ng Industry 4.0, nagagamit na nila sa safety practices nila with the help of predictive analytics, real-time monitoring, sensor-based alerts, and early interventions. So predictive analytics, I think itong mga terms na to, itong mga words na to, mas emphasize natin sa one of the next sections. Okay. Now, in terms of the Hudson model naman of safety culture maturity, makakonsider natin itong practices na to as proactive. So meaning, hindi lang tayo naglagay ng safety measures, but at the same time, we still actively look for problems before they happen. Okay, so meaning data. Tinitingnan natin yung data natin, what happened in the past. Tinitingnan din natin what could happen next, di ba? So that before bad things happen, may safety measures na tayo. Naka-ready na. Not just to, not necessarily to negate the effects of the accident or incident, but at the same time to somehow lessen the chances na lumaki yung severity ng impact na yun. Okay? So proactive. Okay? Kumbaga, in short, advanced na tayo mag-isip ngayon. So ganun po, Industry 4.0. While some countries, like I've heard China, and some countries like Russia, I'm not sure US, but there's another country I forgot, a European country. Some European countries are already on this stage, or ano na, ready na sila at least sa Industry 4.0 or the human-centered design. Okay, so this is the era that is focused on sustainability, and medyo common na sa AI. So humans and AI are collaborating already seamlessly. Kabisado na ng mga tao paano i-leverage yung technologies ni AI. And hindi siya, yung AI hindi lang pang entertainment like what most Filipinos nowadays think of. Diba? Um, when hearing about AI, that's what they think of. Uh, and pinaka-center, because this is human-centered design, human well-being. So sustainability, remember, a balance of um, people, planet, and profit. Okay, so because we are concerned on the human well-being. Right. So sana ang sarap pakinggan, no? Wish ko lang nasa ganitong stage na tayo. So because the safety practices in this stage, safety is a core value already. Meaning, hindi siya for compliance, hindi siya trend lang, but this is a culture already. This is something na pinapahalagan talaga. Okay? Ng management, ng mga in charge. Yan. So, ini-integrate na to sa mga design, okay? Na-embed na sa culture, part ng leadership. If you're a leader, you are someone who make sure everyone is safe. But may ganun thinking yung pagiging leader mo. Also, we are continuously learning with the help of smart systems and more advanced than that na system. We are continuously learning and innovating. So, kumbaga hindi tayo tumitigil na ay, kabisado ko na ito mangyayari dyan, ito magiging hazard dyan, yung risk dyan, ito yung pwedeng gawin. Yan. So, kung titingnan natin sa Hudson model stage, we can call this as generative na safety culture. Like, we are thinking safety is how we do business around here. So, may business ka, matik, may safety. So, ganun. Okay? So, nakatatak na. Hindi siya something na bonus feature lang or something na nilalabas kapag kailangan or something na dinidisplay para maganda lang tingnan or for compliance purposes. Hindi. Everything that we do, may kailangan, may kaakibat o may corresponding na safety measures automatically. So, ganun po. So, ito lang simpleng evolution ng or pang recap ng how safety practices evolve throughout the years. Okay, especially in the industrialization eras. Okay. Now, with all those terms and concepts that we have discussed, we can now formally define safety management. Again, with the help of I guess this is from another website, Investopedia, because wala to kay Britannica. So, according to Investopedia, Safety management is the systematic process of identifying, evaluating, and controlling risks to ensure the well-being of people, equipment, and operations. So we apply the concepts of management na. So if you are the manager or someone who is involved or hindi lang involved, um, in charge of managing a certain team or organization or office, then dapat marunong kang mag-identify ng risks. And once na-identify mo yun, alam mo kung paano sila i-evaluate. So, nang na-evaluate mo na, alam mo yung corresponding na control measures. Bakit? Kailangan nating i-ensure yung well-being ng mga tao. Not necessarily yung mga tao sa team mo or sa office mo, but also those who are doing business with you. Yung mga visitors, yung mga customers, yan. Okay? Also, pati sa equipment na rin. Because as we all know, kung hindi tayo maingat sa work, di ba? May chance na masira natin yung gamit. So, pati equipment na din and yung operations natin because kung hindi tayo maingat, nagkaroon ng aksidente, ma-interrupt yung operations. So, mababawasan yung income ng company or ng store, di ba? So, damay-damay na. So, take note that safety management involves planning. And yung plano na yan, i-implement natin. And as we implement that plan, we are monitoring it so that we will know how to improve it further. Okay? So, yung mga yung mga safety policies, practices, and technologies. So, na-mention natin yung identifying, evaluating, and controlling. So, this is part of planning. May tinatawag tayong risk management matrix, like what you see here. So, first, identify natin daw yung mga risk, yung mga risk sa isang workplace or sa isang certain role. Like, ikaw yung taga-hugas ng pinggan. So, ano yung mga risk na involved dyan? So, lista natin. Lista. Now, yung mga nalista natin, how often ba sila pwede mangyari? So, that's what we call probability. So, i-rate natin. In this case, yung matrix natin is tatlo lang. So, low, medium, high. But there are some safety officers na more than 3. So, they have 4 or 5 na levels. So they have 4x4 matrix or 5x5 matrix. So in terms of probability, as you can see the y-axis, um, y-axis. So meron tayong low, medium, and high na probability. Okay? If a certain risk nakita nyo as low probability, meaning is very ano lang naman, rare na case yan. So we rate that as a 1 or a low, di ba? Kung medyo 50-50, then that's a 2 or somewhere in the middle. Or very high, most likely every day pwede mangyari yan. So or based on your data, nakita mo na very frequent pala, no? 2 or 3 times a week nangyayari yung ganyang aksidente. So you add that as, or you consider that as a high. So for in this case, we have 3 points for high. Yeah, may 3 points na kagad. Now, in terms of severity, as you can see um, in our what do you call this x-axis, we have low, medium, high as well. So as you can see, we have narrate din natin. Severity means gaano kalala pag nangyari yan. So, yan, 1, 2, or 3. So, if you rate that also as high, then 3 points, another 3 points in this case. So, 3x3, high probability na siya, high severity pa siya. So, therefore, we have a 9. 9 ang score niya, risk na score. So, for this table, ang nakalagay daw, pag 9, immediately dangerous daw siya. By the way, this is from OSHC, nakuha ko, during our training. So, kung dangerous siya, level 9 siya, meaning yun yung una nating actionan. Followed by those that are in the orange part, and then the yellow, and the next. Okay? So, mas mataas yung risk level, mas action na natin kaagad. Mas unahin natin. Right? So, sige pa screenshots. Zoom in natin if you want to take a screenshot. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Sige. Hindi ko na po babasahin. Kayo na lang balang magbasa. Alright. Sige. Lastly, we have the hierarchy of risk controls. So, here we have, now that we have managed, nalaman natin ano yung mga task or yung mga roles na may mataas na risk level. So, action na natin. So, ito yung mga pwede natin gawin. First one, eliminate natin yung risk. Tanggalin na. Okay, may gasolina na involved. Very high risk yung gasolina. So, tanggalin na si gas. Huwag nang gumamit ng gas. Kung pwede. Yan. Kung hindi, like what I've said, pwedeng substitution. So, kung hindi gasoline for in the case of engines, baka pwedeng gawing electronic na siya. Dekuryente na. Electrical or electronic. So, or kung um, maybe there's another fuel that we can use na less hazardous. Di ba? Or kung hindi pa din pwede, or in addition to that, pinalitan mo na, kaso yung pinalitan mo medyo hazardous pa din, pwede po tayong magdagdag ng additional na control, engineering controls. So we can put some barriers, isolations, covering, di ba? Or anything that will distance the human beings or the machine, protect them from such hazardous condition. Okay? Pwede din maglagay ng mga ng mga automations, na early warning systems, mga sensors, di ba? In addition to that, better may administrative controls din. Di ba? Best example na sa yung COVID-19 na. COVID-19, di ba, may hazard. We have the COVID-19 as the hazard. And one of the engineering controls, syempre hindi natin eliminate and hindi tayo nakapag-substitute din. So, ang next na talaga na naging option natin that time was the engineering control. So, naglagay pa tayo ng mga barriers, nilimit yung galaw ng mga tao, nagkaroon ng sensors, gumamit tayo ng scanners, UV UV radiation to minimize the risks. At the same time, may administrative controls po na ginawa like yung mga protocols na social media, social distancing, and atas yung mga curfew or yung ano pa ba? Yung mga work from home na bawal lumabas kasi may batas. So things like that. Pero hindi pa enough. Meron din po tayong PPE. Gumamit po tayo ng masks, face shield, kung ano-ano pa. Di ba? Para ma-protect yung self natin further. Okay? So as you can see, PPE is the last option. That's the last line of defense. And based on our hierarchy, it is the least effective. So in other words, gusto ko lang i-highlight na yung PPE po natin is automatic siya, but that's when all things fail, yung PPE na po yung last na pwede nating asahan na makapag-minimize ng severity ng hazardous condition. Okay? The last line of defense meaning hindi lang yun dapat yung ginagawa natin. Okay?